Welcome to the May-June 2016 episode of Access SCC. In this episode, we'll take a look at a few promos for some events we have coming up this summer, including the Teen Video Bootcamp and local parades.
We'll also show you a tutorial on how to set up and properly light our portable green screen. And we'll recap the March Producers Club. Stay tuned, Access SCC starts right now. Equipment has been flying off the shelves here at SCC. There are times when there aren't enough cameras for us to allocate extensions or for us to be lenient on late returns. So with that being said, please be sure to return your equipment on time. To express the importance of returning gear on time, we've prepared this short video for you. This just in. Suburban Community Channels has noticed a large uptick in equipment reservations. I caught up with Ben Vinar of SCC earlier to learn how this affects you. We are down at the award-winning Suburban Community Channels to see exactly how these checkouts affect producers. So Ben, what's the effect on producers?
Well, with so many checkouts, we have to be extra careful to ensure that everyone can get a camera when we tell them they can. And sometimes that means that we can't always grant extensions, and people need to make sure that they show up for their reservations on time.
What happens when someone is late or doesn't show up?
Well, sometimes they can make it so other producers can't get that equipment. If they're running late, bringing things back, or if they forgot to pick something up, then that affects everybody.
So there you have it, folks. Timeliness is key at SCC.
Hey everyone, Ted here with TED Talks, as always catching you up with all things Suburban Community Channels. Now first up out of the blocks here, it's almost summertime. Really, you never know it, but you know what that means? It means parade season here. And SCC is participating in 4 local parades this year, so keep the following dates in mind. Friday, June 17th is Manitou Days Grand Parade, followed by the Oakdale Summerfest Grand Parade on Thursday, June 23rd. Later in the summer, we'll be in Vadnais Heights Heritage Days for the Grand Parade on Sunday, August 21st. And then lastly, the Grant Tractor Parade on September 10th. If you'd like to help us out by walking with SCC in any of these parades, feel free to contact a friendly SCC staff person or stop by the studio. Now stay tuned because later in the show, Ben will have a promo with more information about summer parades, and you know how good those Ben promos are. So moving on, by now you've probably noticed a big change in the Studio A control room. We've taken a huge leap from 1984 to, well, now. So the control room is now featuring a brand new multi-viewer that has replaced those old black and white reference monitors. Sad to say. Now those high resolution monitor is now where you'll find all your video feeds like the cameras, the Mac playout, the Compex, the laptop computer, etc. Not only is it in color, but it's clear and it's high-res picture too, which will make it easier for referencing your sources during your production. And of course, it's all right there right in front of you at eye level. No more neck aches looking up at the monitors, taking in all those videos. Now, a couple quick little mentions here that I have for you. Our Cracker Jack staff member Brandon has reworked the SCC Volunteer Network book. This book is in the front foyer area of SCC and is the best way for SCC producers and volunteer crew members to connect and help each other out. New and improved for everyone's benefit. Trust me, give it a try. Now lastly, and very importantly, if you had your SCC grant approved for 2016, do not forget to return your signed MOU, your Memorandum of Understanding, and submit it to us by Sunday, May 15th. This is one of those very firm deadlines here, so do not miss out. As always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to contact a friendly, and I mean friendly, SCC staff person, probably the friendliest, 651-747-3830. I'm Ted, and I'm done talking, and it's SCC, Access SCC.
Every summer, SCC is involved with several local parades. If you would like to participate in the parades with us this year, check out this promo for more info.
Having a camera can get people into some pretty unique situations, but did you know that SCC can take you even further? With a few well-planned checkout items and a dream, SCC can take you to the moon. First things first, when you want to use the green screen, you must set it up in an open area with room for lights and for the subject to be about 10 feet in front of the green screen. Once the screen is set up, shut off the room lights and use some lights to evenly light the screen. I recommend checking out an LED kit from SCC. Set up an HMC camera. You can use the waveform monitor function on the HMC 150 by pressing the WFM button. Try to get a consistent, even line. Light your subject completely separate from your green screen. Use reference photos to get your lighting as close to the background as possible. Now, shoot your scene and adjust lighting as needed. After your scene is shot, you will need to log and transfer your clips into Final Cut Pro 7. I've already done that here, so what you're going to want to do is choose and drag the desired green screen clip down onto your timeline, and then under the Effects tab, in the Keying bin, choose Primat RT. Drag that down onto your clip, and then double select your clip to bring it up into the viewer window. Go to Filters, set the output type to foreground. Choose the color picker in the backing color. You're going to want to choose a green that's really close to your subject. That'll make sure that you get the best key right around the edges. So next, go to the output type and change it to matte. Now your goal is going to be to get this image to be completely black and completely white. The white is going to be where our subject is, and the black will be the green screen. So to do that, we're going to adjust the noise removal and the matte density. So just tweak these. They both have to be moved off to the left, as much as I can tell you. So after that is done, go and change the output type one last time to processed foreground. That'll show you what your current key is looking like. You'll notice that it's a very magenta color, so you're going to want to adjust this spill suppression until it's back to looking normal. After that, the next thing you're going to notice is that I still have some blue here hanging out around the edge of the frame. So in order to get rid of that, I'm going to apply a 4-point garbage matte. That's in the matte bin under video filters under the effects tab. So the 4-point garbage matte, I'm going to apply it to my clip. And then I'm going to adjust these points. Each point is, you can see here on the corner. I'm going to choose that plus there and move each point so they will cut off the blue. It's only going to show what's in between all of these points. So now I've removed all of the blue. Now anything that's black currently is just transparent. So anything on layers 1 and 2, I currently have this on layer 3, so anything on layers 1 and 2 will be visible. So my idea was to have Mike example here be on the moon surface. So what I'm going to do is I have this moon surface that I made got off the internet and took out the horizon in Photoshop. So I'm going to open it in the viewer. I'm going to apply a color key to it because I need to get rid of that white on the horizon. And I'm going to select that white on the horizon. I'm going to get rid of the edge feather, and I'm going to bump up the edge thin just a little bit to make sure that I get rid of all of the white around the edges. So now I've got my horizon. I'm going to want to make it a little bit bigger so it completely fills my frame. And we can see here that it's now behind our guy. So one last thing to make it so there's a little bit behind his headphones so you can actually see him. So we're going to put some stars behind him. And we're going to do the same thing where we just make the stars bigger so they completely fill the frame. So I'll make them a bit bigger. And now any adjustments that I make to the stars or I make to the surface of the moon or my guy, I can apply those independently here to make them all match the most, because right now he looks a little bit warm, the moon looks a little cool, and the stars look weird. So I could color correct all of them and try to get them all as close as possible to each other. So now I'll show you what my video ended up looking like. So you just do the same thing to all the other clips.
Have you heard? Here at SCC, we have a show that you can get involved with without having any prior knowledge of how the studio works. That's right, it's our weekly open mic night. You just have to show up with something to say. Here's how you can get involved. How do you get an alien baby to sleep? You rock it. Get it? You rock it. Just drifting on together, he and I, as through the balmy weather of July. Drift to thistle tufts embedded, each in each by zephyrs wedded, touring upward, giddy-headed, for the sky. Hi. I just wanted to invite you all out to my farm this Saturday night. There will be Kool-Aid that we'll be drinking at midnight. Please wear white. Thank you.
What did he just say to us?
Each year, SCC teams up with one of our local libraries for Teen Video Bootcamp. Coming this July 12th through the 15th, we'll have a team of teens produce a short film at the White Bear Lake Library. Take a peek at this highlight from last year's production.
I'm on a really tough quest to look for my book.
I said it's checked out, sir. It's not here.
No! I know you didn't just spit all across my face like that. What is always happening to me? Let me talk. I said, let me talk. Let me talk.
Silly goose, said the eldest princess. That was just a nail in the wall. Huh.
That's my book. What? No. The last page is missing. No. No! No!
If you missed it, we had a blast at the last Producers Club in March where we talked about various camera support equipment. But don't fret, you can check out the full video from our media library or find it on our YouTube channel. In the meantime, here's a recap. Okay. All right, let's get this show on the road. So yeah, like I said, this is Camera Support Systems, so it's kind of a basic overview of a handful of different systems that, like I said, some of them you can get here. Some of them are available to rent in the local area. There's a couple rental shops in the Twin Cities area. And then some of them you probably can't rent around here because they're meant more for like major motion pictures and they cost thousands of dollars to rent these things. So we'll discuss some of that stuff. But like I said, if you have any questions along the way, just let me know. Tripods. So this is your basic tripod. The picture of this one here is a relatively small one. It looks to me like it's probably plastic. Looking at the head of it, where you would attach the camera, it's meant more for like digital photography, not for videography, just because it is a smaller tripod and a smaller head and everything, so you don't actually need a lot of movement with the camera. You know, it's meant to more just to set your shot and have it sit still while you take your picture, type of thing. So it's your basic camera support. Whoop. It can tilt, it can pan. So basically, you know, I'm just going up and down like this, left to right. Some of them, like this one here, you can see there's like two handles on the right side. The one on the bottom is actually a crank. And what you can do with that is you can crank it to go up and down. So you could also pedestal with them, but generally it's only meant for, again, for pictures, because if you use that pedestal, oh yeah, you could just shut that off, probably. If you use that pedestal while you're shooting video with it, it'll probably shake quite a bit. It doesn't physically move while you're shooting, so just like you see with our tripod here, it's meant to just set up and you just leave it there. But you can, like I said, you can tilt and pan with it, but you're not going to actually physically move the tripod in the middle of shooting. And we have these available at SCC. So. Like our tripods here, this is a video tripod. This is a pretty heavy-duty video tripod. Usually the video tripods are quite a bit bigger. They're also going to have like bigger legs, so they're quite a bit sturdier, bigger handle, so that it's easier for you to tilt, pan, things like that. One of what I think is kind of a giveaway, I guess you could say, for noticing a difference between a video tripod and a photography tripod is the plate on them. Take this off. The plate's generally a lot bigger because it's meant to be able to handle bigger cameras like this. So like if you compare these two, that plate up there is pretty small. And also where the plate goes into the head here is quite a bit bigger. So they're usually longer. That's like a pretty good way to tell. So. Then yeah, you can do your basic camera movements, panning across an audience, nice and slow, tilting up and down if you want, things like that. Any questions on tripods?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
You know, like sometimes when I get out to the racetrack, the tripod doesn't quite move as freely as I want it to. Is it okay to add oil to it? I've never done it, but I kind of wanted to do it.
Not with ours.
Not with yours?
No.
Is it your tripod or?
It's theirs, their tripod.
No, please don't do that with ours. Let us know if there's an issue with that. It's possible that your drag on the knobs here, so this is your tilt knob and your pan knob down here. So if it's locked all the way, it's not going to move at all. If you have either of them locked all the way as far as they go, it's not going to move. But if you loosen them up just slightly, like about like halfway, then it's going to have kind of a slow drag on it. But if you loosen it up all the way, it should be able to move a lot faster. So check those first. If it's completely loose, if both of them are totally loose and it's still having issues with being slow, just let us know and we'll take care of it here. Please don't put your own oil in it because it can get messy.
I've never done it,
yes.
But like usually the front straightaway is down low and then the back straightaway is up high. So you know, when the cars are coming down the front straightaway, you're looking down, and then they go up in the back straightaway, you gotta go up high. That's usually a racetrack is set up, the back straightaway is higher than the front straightaway. So
Like the actual grade of it?
the grade of it, yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. If that happens again, let us know, and we'll take a look at it.
Okay.
There's actually a hill in the car?
Right, there's a hill. They race downhill towards the grandstand and go uphill towards the
What
back
is going
straightaway.
So when they jump the wall, they can take the
Right.
bottom of the stands and
Right.
get many people.
Jumping back on its own. So monopods, these are similar to tripods, but as you can see, there's only one leg to them, but they still have, you can see on the bottom, there's 3 different things that you can loosen up to extend it, to make it taller, similar to like a tripod. So these are a lot quicker to set up and take down than a tripod, since you only have the one leg. They're generally lightweight and pretty easy to move. Again, this isn't something that you'd probably want to move while you're shooting video, but they're meant more for like photography purposes. And then they're generally not for use with heavy cameras, just because they only do have that one leg. Plus, if you have a heavier camera on it, it's going to be a lot harder for you to hold it. Obviously, this you have to hold the whole time. You can't let it go like you can with a tripod. It's really just meant to help just stabilize your shot for like a few seconds while you're getting a quick shot. So a hi-hat / tabletop tripod, this is essentially just a miniature tripod. As you can see, the legs are super tiny on it. This is good for extremely low angle shots if you want to use it on the ground. So some of these, like this one here, it just has kind of like a flat head on it, so you wouldn't be able to actually like angle it up. But you can get different heads for them that are similar to like this head here that you would be able to angle up. So if you want to get a nice low angle shot, that's what that would be good for. These can go places that normal tripods can't, and so like they're called a tabletop tripod, so they can go up on top of a table, or up on top of a bookshelf, or different surfaces like that that a normal tripod can't go to. But also conversely, you may not always, if this is the only option that you have. That's all we have for you for our May-June Access SCC. You can learn more about all we have to offer by visiting our website, and stay up to date with news and events by following SCC on our social media pages.
Sign up for classes and events by visiting the studio or giving us a call. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
If you would like to participate.
Equipment has been flying off the shelves here at SCC. There are times
Alright, you can check out the full video. Be extra sure that,
All right, take 2.